The 2 months since that evacuation, lawmakers have vowed to look into changes, but those changes could be easier said than done, especially when it comes to the power held by the nursing home industry in Louisiana. Is it impossible to win against the nursing home industry in Louisiana?
Without leadership from the governor's office, it's impossible to win against the nursing home industry, yes.
They're that powerful?
Yes.
Former State Senator Conrad Appel says the nursing home industry generates much of that power with money.
Huge. It's huge.
Nursing homes are among the most generous campaign contributors to state elections.
You were a lawmaker for a long time. Do the campaign contributions, do they mean something? Do they help?
To a lot of people, they mean a lot. To others, they mean an opportunity just to be heard. I would like to think that most of them perceive a contribution as just a way to say, we want to be able to talk to you. But unfortunately, I think there's a lot of people in the legislature that look to those as lifelines for their campaigns.
We dug through hundreds of campaign finance reports for the last 4 years and compiled a list of nursing home contributions, looking at the homes, connected businesses, and owners. What we discovered: in 4 years, the nursing home industry contributed $3.2 million to state elections.
That's a lot. That's a lot of money. I suspect if you were to look at the total dollars contributed, you'd find perhaps only the trial lawyers exceeding that amount. I can't think of any other organization or organized group that would have or could contribute that kind of money.
Over the last 4 years, the most money went to Governor Edwards and his Political Action Committee, $683,000. That included several donations from Bob Dean, the owner of the 7 nursing homes that evacuated to an Independence warehouse. Residents of those homes complained of inhumane conditions at the warehouse. Nearly 850 residents had access to just a few bathrooms. Patients described needing oxygen but having no access to it. Food was limited. In September, the state revoked the licenses of those 7 homes. In 2007, Dean stopped donating to state campaigns, but that changed 12 years later. In 2019, in September, he made 3 separate campaign contributions to Daniel Edwards, the sheriff of Tangipahoa Parish, where the companies tied to Dean made separate contributions to the campaign of Edwards' brother, the governor, totaling $67,500. It's unclear why Dean started donating again and only gave to the governor and his brother. A spokesperson for the governor didn't address the campaign contributions directly, but did say the governor has demanded and will ensure a complete investigation by law enforcement, including Louisiana State Police and health officials, to hold accountable those responsible for this tragic situation. Critics say the state has taken a hands-off approach to these emergency evacuation plans. Appel says the hands-off approach extends to the entire nursing home industry, and he wonders if contributions contribute to that.
Governor Jindal did the exact same thing. I'm not criticizing any particular governor. I'm just suggesting that no governors have done what's necessary.
R or D?
R or D.
Attorneys representing residents of the nursing homes wonder if that hands-off approach might have contributed to the deaths of nursing home residents after Hurricane Ida. On September 7th, we asked the Louisiana Department of Health when it approved the emergency evacuation plan for the 7 Bob Dean homes. We've asked several times since then for that information, but LDH won't tell us. In 2019, 6 of those nursing homes submitted documentation to the state, alerting LDH this warehouse could be used as a shelter. In 2021, those homes told the state the warehouse had beds for up to 700 residents. We've asked state leaders for details in that approval process. Their only answer is sending us state regulations related to these nursing homes. So we asked Bob Dean's attorney how the process worked.
Who approved that warehouse as an evacuation shelter?
Louisiana Department of Health.
So they approved it?
Yes.
How did that approval process work?
So you fill out a very long application, probably 100 pages long, very long, and it's called an EPP, Emergency Preparedness Plan. And you submit it to the parish where your facility is located, and you submit it to LDH. And you said, here's our plan, here's what we're going to do. They approved it.
Bob Dean's 7 nursing homes did submit those plans to the parishes and state. The State Department of Health never questioned the use of the warehouse before the storm. LDH has regulations that set policies and oversight for emergency plans. All LDH has to do is change those rules to strengthen the policies, but so far hasn't said it will.
Should the state be doing more to ensure that these evacuation plans are safe and going to work?
Clearly they should, and what better example than with Hurricane Ida? I mean, they evacuated to a warehouse that didn't have enough portalets, even if they only had the 300 people that it was originally approved for. You know, we were talking about, I hope the guy that does the portalets per people for that doesn't do it for Jazz Fest, because they need 10 portalets out there at Jazz Fest. You look at where they evacuated. They evacuated into the cone of danger. You know, everybody knew the storm was going to go up and pull to the northeast. That evacuation location was no better than, they should have stayed where they were.
If LDH doesn't act, state lawmakers seem set to strengthen oversight.
The legislators absolutely need to step in and take this on, and I think you're going to see a flurry of legislation filed in the spring that deals with this and other things related to that.
To force more oversight on these plans?
I think having oversight, having transparency, and who is ultimately responsible that can determine, was that warehouse a good choice or wasn't it?
Brandon Aubert calls himself a mama's boy. He lost his 78-year-old mother after the storm.
I keep myself up at night a lot about it, and I wonder what could I have done myself if I knew? You know, that's the real guilt.
Aubert's mother lived at Maison Orleans, a Bob Dean nursing home. He said the evacuation and post-storm move took a toll on his mother's health.
How much lighter was she than she should have been?
According to the charts, they were saying 13 pounds.
She lost 13 pounds in a matter of
a week and a half, I would say. So it was pretty bad.
Critics say some state leaders let campaign contributions limit oversight.
So the state needs to do better in your mind?
Absolutely, absolutely. I feel that they should. I mean, it's just mandatory human decency to want to have somebody in a better situation.
Problems with nursing home evacuations are nothing new for Louisiana, including during Hurricane Katrina and even before that in Hurricane Georges in 1998. Evacuation problems occurred at a nursing home owned by Bob Dean. Aubert hopes this storm is the last one that puts the most vulnerable in an even more vulnerable position.
But I would think that there would be some kind of situation that after Katrina we would have a contingency plan to have this, well thought out plan. So if there is a storm, this is what we're going to do. And apparently they did, but I wouldn't think it would be a warehouse, and I'm just appalled at the whole situation, to be honest.
We reached out to the Louisiana Nursing Home Association for comment, but did not receive a response. In response to the campaign contributions, Tangipahoa Parish Sheriff Daniel Edwards said, "As sheriff, I am the chief law enforcement officer of Tangipahoa Parish. This in no way includes any role in the application or approval process of an evacuation plan by a nursing home to the Louisiana Department of Health. Prior to Hurricane Ida, neither in my capacity as sheriff nor in my capacity as a private citizen had I ever spoken with or communicated with anyone, including Mr. Dean or my brother, the governor, about the subject evacuation plan application or its approval."